Hey guys, Eric here with Terry and Joshua. We are about to talk about The Flash Season 2 premiere, The Man Who Saved Central City. Full spoilers. If you haven't seen it, we're going to ruin it for you right now. Let's go for it. This was obviously coming off such a well-received first season. There was a lot of expectation now. Terry, what did you think of this premiere?
This might seem sentimental, but like watching this, it just felt like a warm hug. I was like, oh, I miss The Flash so much, and I still felt, we're getting back into our groove here. We're still setting the groundwork for how much things have changed, but I love all these characters. I love the actors. I love the chemistry they have together, and I thought that it got off to a really intriguing first start, and we even got a little bit of Harrison Wells in there to fill that void from losing him somehow. Maybe we're getting him back. He's a series regular. This season.
On the show. Maybe it's just all flashbacks.
Yeah, you know what? I would be fine with that. Yeah. But yeah, I loved it, and I'm happy that The Flash is back. It's been too long.
Joshua?
The emotions were there with me too. I cried like twice, especially in the beginning when he comes in and you think, you're like, oh, everything's going so well. I guess, the end of season 1 turned out well. And then and it was all like just a daydream, of how he wishes things were. And because he was all alone and he lost everybody. Because the cast does have such great relationships and you want to see them like be happy and be together, but it doesn't start out that way. Plot-wise, I thought it hit a lot of great beats and it set up a lot of interesting stuff. But I kind of missed the magic of season 1 where like almost every episode had like one of these crazy cliffhangers with the Reverse Flash with Harrison Wells, and that didn't quite happen like this time. Obviously they can't do that again. That was like sort of lightning in a bottle. But I am intrigued to see where it goes. And Jay Garrick is like really hot. In the comics, he's not hot. He's like older, right?
He's on the CW.
Yeah, he's on the CW.
This is the CW version of Jay Garrick.
I was like, whoa, it's Jay Garrick. Okay.
Yeah, I really thought it was great. I mean, again, like you were saying, like it's just you're so like, oh, welcome back, guys. So great to have you. I like the opening scene a lot though because just when it started to get too cheesy that everyone's walking in and saying these great words of encouragement, then Eddie shows up and it's like, wait, what the hell? And so like him and Wells showing up and then that reveal that no, none of them are there. Yeah, really strong premiere. A couple minor quibbles I'll get into in a little bit. But overall, yeah, I thought it really, oh God, every time I talk about The Flash, I want to say hits the ground running. And I feel really bad.
Just give in, do it.
Yeah, hits the ground running. Because we are now, The Flash is such a great, got another pun with the vibe. Such a great vibe season 1. But yeah, it continued to have that in this premiere. Let's talk about, because the show has had this sort of engine of supervillains because of the particle accelerator and whatnot. But then we had Atom Smasher here, we were talking earlier, that great moment where Stein got to name him.
And Cisco hugs him. It was like such a perfect moment.
But he, first of all, there was a little bit of a background on who he was, where he was from. What did you think of him as sort of the inaugural villain for season 2?
Yeah, I really loved that Flash Day scene as a whole and him sort of coming into there. I liked it, and I like that it's turning it to a new part of the world and that we don't need to keep mining the same particle accelerator concept. Now we have, a whole new realm of villains of the week. I thought it worked.
Yeah, I really liked him just visually. He was something a little different than we've seen before. And I had just a nerd moment of, oh my God, they did Atom Smasher, and he's using his powers, and he's really cool, and he's like, the Flash is so fast that it was sort of weird to think that such a big giant guy could fight him, but they kind of made it work, and how he I guess ran really fast into that really obvious trap they set for him
right.
In the end. But yeah, I thought he was great, and it was like a really fun, kind of a new threat for the Flash.
I mean, to me, it's like, obviously we didn't get deep characterization on this character, but I thought that was okay, because visually he really stood out, and there was so much going on in this premiere, I almost said pilot, but premiere episode. Plus, as a wrestling fan, it was Edge, guys. It was Adam Copeland playing
yes.
That was awesome. And by the way, even though he seemingly sort of died at the end, just the whole background on who he was, and the fact that there already was a dead, well, he wasn't Atom Smasher, but his alter ego was dead, Rothstein, in this reality, and now he's from another reality, and very much opening this door to, okay, how many people are going to show up from other realities? So what'd you think of that tease at the end? Because we know Zoom is coming. Did you think that was enough as far as
we have the two. We had the Zoom reference and Jay Garrick showing up. I think Tom Cavanaugh, Harrison Wells, was such a great presence, and we got that right from the start. And I think that just his performance was such a hook for me. I think a lot of people found that character and that mystery to be a big part of the charm of The Flash season 1. We didn't get that much of Jay Garrick here. We don't know if Teddy Sears can replace that hole. So it didn't hook me as much as the other Reverse Flash mystery from season 1.
Right.
But I do like, obviously opening it up to World 2 and all of these other elements and people coming in is really interesting and different. And I don't say this in a derogatory way, but very comic booky in a way that like a lot of shows. I know, God,
Get up and
comic
storm
books.
out.
No, but I think that a lot of these other shows that we see try to veer away and not really embrace the comic book roots, because sometimes those things like Atom Smasher might not have translated as well on another show. So I really respect The Flash for being able to pull those off, and I think that will work this season too.
I think a great example of that is even Flash Day, which is cheesy but great. You know, it's like it's a very classic sort of Silver Age comic book thing that they'd even do that. And that show can get away with it. Arrow couldn't do Arrow Day and be all like earnest about it.
When you told me that you had like 2 moments that made you emotional, I guessed the Flash Day as one of them, because to me that was the thing where I was like, you guys, everyone's together. This is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this show really does it goes for the emotions.
Yeah.
You know? So I really like that about it. Although something you just said made me think. You know, we're trying to. The guessing game is how is Harrison Wells still going to be a part of the show? Because we know
how is Tom Cavanaugh?
Tom Cavanaugh has been cast, but we know there's been 2 Rothsteins, right?
Right.
So obviously there's going to be an Earth to Harrison Wells, I'm guessing. So maybe he'll be how he makes his way into the show.
Actually, when I first started watching, the premiere, I almost thought that opening scene we saw was going to be Earth 2 or something like that, instead of just, oh, here's like the happy version that we had hoped for. Here's what it actually is. So I hope so, and I would hope that that version of Harrison Wells would be significantly different in some way from the one who we came to know, and maybe not a villain.
Yeah, maybe not a villain, but he could be colder. Like there's a lot of sort of ways you could do that. Cavanaugh's other big scene besides that opening, of course, was the video.
Yes.
And so let's talk about that whole aspect, the confession and the fact that it led to Henry Allen, being let out. What did you guys think of that?
That was crazy how it just happened so quick that he's like out of jail like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, I don't know if the legal system works like that.
But it's actually a relief that we didn't have to like harp through all of that stuff. We just got the result. But then it was like bittersweet, right? That he gets out, but he doesn't want to live with Barry, which is really sad. But as far as the confession goes, I thought it was almost a little too on the nose that he would say this really like emotionally poignant, like personal thing to Barry. That was actually very like nice to Barry. But which kind of reminds us that he wasn't. As much as he hated the Flash, he loved Barry in the first season, which was weird to be like reminded of that. But overall, I just thought it was sort of like a weird thing, but also ultimately an interesting thing for Barry's dad, who's no longer the guy in prison.
Right.
Do you think that could be like an Earth 2 other version sort of thing? Like maybe this guy came from somewhere else and wasn't within our world, and that wasn't something that our Harrison Wells had planned?
I don't think so. I think it was what Joshua was saying, that because there were those nods in season 1 that he hated the Flash, yet he had, but despite himself, he had affection for Barry, right? So I like that video for that reason. I will say in the rushing through things aspect, I don't think he would have been freed that quickly, but I'm kind of going to give them that. I do wish Henry Allen, it seemed weird to me that he literally would get home from jail, welcome home party, and be like, I'm out of here. I feel like a few episodes into the season, he should have been like, I feel weird, and maybe they should have saved that, because that just felt strange to me. It was like,
I gotta go.
right. But otherwise, it was, very emotional, the two of them. Any parting thoughts as we go out of here about going into season 2, or I assume we're all psyched up now to see where it goes next?
Yeah, I've just got a great vibe from them hitting the ground running, and we're off in a flash. So.
Let's zoom on to episode 2.
I was trying to make up a new one, but it'll be.
You can't force it.
I know, you can't. Okay, something Firestorm. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that, but we all think Ronnie will show up at some point.
Oh
yeah. Don't bring it up.
Show up at some point.
That's what made me cry when he flew in to sacrifice himself.
3 shows.
Yeah.
So that's what we thought about the Flash season premiere. Let us know what you thought in the comments. For plenty more on all things Flash and CWDC shows, keep it here at IGN.